Alright YouTube, another part to my home built RC trophy truck. Don't know what number this will be either. Just doing some work on the diff, so I thought I'd put you in the picture, let you see what I'm up to. Originally the diff was off a mobility scooter. I can't remember which one. I bought it because not very technically. I bought it because I liked the look of it and thought it'd suit the look of the truck, sort of size I was going for. You can see there. Originally it had part of the casing was cut to take these square axle holders. It was square at the end like that, obviously, and then these were used originally to fix it to the rear suspension on the mobility scooter. Bit of overkill for me, plus if you might have noticed in the first clip that I put on, originally I was going to use these. They're off a Honda Civic Type R rear control arms. Again, I liked the look of them at the start and I thought, yeah, I could use these. But even making bushes and doing a lot of work to get that to sit right and obviously give me some actuation, it was just causing me too much problems. So I've ditched those as the rear swing arms. I'm actually making some from scratch, but I'll go through them in another episode, let you see. So when I took the diff apart, I found out it's a limited slip diff with a spiral drive, which obviously gives you a bit better torque on the diff. It's 16mm hardened shafts that have been threaded out, obviously to take the original wheel that was going to be put on. The only issue I've really got is the drive. Originally it was for a battery, an electric motor obviously, so the coupling was basically a little brass T with, if you can see it there, with a plastic sort of casing to it, which I don't think is going to be anywhere near what I need. I'm going to need a lot more strength, so I'm going to have to change this shaft and adapt it to take a sprocket. But with that flat plate there, I can obviously then put a casing around it if I need to. It shouldn't be too difficult. I've just got to work out the sprocket that I'm using and obviously the gearing to the gearbox, which I'm guessing I've not measured it yet, but I think it's about it's got to be at least 50-1, which is a little of a concern, except for the fact that I put in an extra lay shaft in between the drive from the engine to the diff. Originally I was doing it to cut down the need for a chain tensioner, but that was when I was pivoting the swing arms in the same place that I was driving the diff from, like in one piece. Obviously the changes I've done with the swing arms and the mountings of them have kind of stopped me using that setup, so I've had to find an alternative. And with the lay shaft that I've got planned to fit in between, I can alter the gearing on that and also run a brake on it as well. And then I can change the gearing midway through the drive to obviously give me what I need to the rear diff, give me the final output if you like. So after cutting down both sides, taking the block and most of the waste that I didn't need off, and then I had to find some bearings to fit. So I've used the original 25mm and 16mm inner bearings that were set in the blocks that I've cut off. And what I've done, I've used those to jam the end and support the head, that side of the drive shaft, if you like, on both sides. So that's supported there. And then what I've got was some good quality roller bearings, if you can see there, with like it's like a cast machined outer, better quality than the ones that were on the axle. And I've fitted them to some 42mm spherical bearings to give me the actuation when it's mounted on the rear axle to the swing arm, sorry. So they actually slide on there, if you can see there. and that'll give me the movement that I need at the axle on the swing arms. Quite a good movement. They're a little slack at the moment, but I'm going to PTFE them, line them, and that'll take any slop away. Then obviously I needed a way of fixing these bearings to the rear swing arms that I was going to make. Now, one of the cheapest solutions I've come up with is an exhaust U-bend. They come in loads of different sizes, and I managed to get one that fits in like the oil groove of the bearing. So that fits in nice there, actually follows the line. And then the seated bit, you can see there, it fits perfectly. I originally thought of lining the U-bolt seat with some plastic, some polyurethane or something, just to hold, to give it an even better grip, but as it is, you can see there, it's like almost the perfect width for the bearing. And then obviously I can just put the bolts on, the nuts on, sorry, and bolt it onto the swing arm. I've made some reinforcing bars that will take this, but I've not yet mounted them to the swing arm. You can see there, just some cut out bits of steel, and obviously the U-bolt will mount to it like that, and then be mounted up to the swing arm. As you can see, from there on, got some good movement, and they're going to be hardy enough to deal with it, I think. All I'll need to do is tie a cross beam from the top of the diff, obviously to stop the diff pitching with the drive from the lay shaft, as it would be. It'd be tight, but it'd keep hold of it without, but I'll put something on just to keep it in the position that I want. Sat right. It is heavyweight this, but the whole thing's going to be heavyweight. I can't start worrying about weight too much now. I think with the setup I'll have, it'll have enough power to deal with the weight. Right, stay tuned, subscribe, keep on.